Jeepers creepers. That's on me, guys. Sorry, guys. I touched something, I got way too excited, and I broke everything, and it stopped working. It's all on me. I'm so sorry. I'll stop touching things. Idiot. Someone take the controls off him. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Anyway, we're here now. Okay, but I did manage to put a treasure box up, which I still don't fully understand, but we've got one, which is very exciting. There we go. And she's like, that's funny, but just don't touch things again. That'd be so cool. Let me just see if I've got the... Yeah, that's all. Oh, DJ San. In the latest competition was just a fun one. So it was like the winner stays on artist battle sort of a thing. And I won the first 2 rounds, and then I got bumped on the 3rd round, which was good because the audience was getting pretty tired of me and artists were waiting for their turn. So it was sort of the thing where I actually think more, get the audience involved, have some fun, let everyone have a turn kind of event than it is like own it, be the best, who's the champion sort of a thing. And I sort of like that because it sort of showed art as a fun, inclusive kind of vibe, not like a, hey, this is art, we're going to show you what art is. It was much more approachable. And so people were coming in off the street and things like that and watching and joining in. Sorry, Vic. I touched this thing that said flares and it blew everything up. And then I blame myself entirely. And then I really don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, it then told me I couldn't resume the last live because it's something to do with a flare. Now, I still don't know what a flare is, but anyway, we're here now. I'm not going to touch things again. I swear. I swear. Jay was saying something, and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And so I touched something, and then boof, it all blew up. And so it's on me. It's on me. But I'd like to list off my excuses. Italia, hey Jesse. All right, we're gonna swap onto some. Bada bing ba boo white into these colors in the near future, just to help spread them out some more. Thanks, Santi. Just to lighten the color palette up a little bit too. Beautiful. There's not a whole lot of these tones in the face, but we'll spread some out. Let them exist. There we go. Hello, Steve. How we doing? Appreciate that, mate. It's going to be a lovely baby girl. So, the baby is... We haven't announced the name at this point, but we will let you know. And I'm very, very excited. We're going to have a little helper in the studio, which will be fantastic. And yeah, honestly, it's a really, really cool step. It's a unique step. I'm really excited, and a girl's fantastic. So We'll give her a paintbrush, see how she feels, but if she wants to play sports, she can have it that too. Thanks, Jules. Is your partner an artist as well, Santi? No. No, just me. In fact, my parents weren't artists, neither were my grandparents, neither were my great-grandparents. I come from a long, long line of farmers, and we all, for the last, jeepers, we're going back, take me back, 5 to 7 generations of farmers. I'm a sheep shearer. I've ridden horses. I've ridden bulls. I've shorn sheep. I've fed chickens. I've fed pigs. I've I've had more eggs that have been laid in the chicken coop behind the house than I have from the stores. And that's how I was raised. But I've broken away from that scene and I've become a painter, which makes me incredibly happy. And the support I got from a family from a whole nother world is obviously incredible, because not that you have to have it, but it helps to have the support of loved ones. Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of that, a little bit of fun stuff. We've bought our first gift for the baby, somewhere around here. I'll show you guys. I'll take it up on the feed. Abby, yes, indeed, very exciting. But so first gift's been bought. It's I don't know what you call it, one of those things that hangs above the baby. We were at a farmer's market, and it was there as a handmade thing that a lady was making. It's absolutely amazing, and so we couldn't help but to pick it up. Hard to explain though. I'll send you some shots of it. We'll put them in the story. A mobile? I think so. I think so. But no, I'm very, very excited to get a few more bits and pieces, and yes, put up some paintings, murals in the baby room, all this sort of stuff. Sounds pretty exciting. Mobile. Steve's onto it. Steve knows it. What's in the blue drink? Some electrolytes. So, just a little kick, guys. Typically, one thing I find when I drink a lot of water during the day is I actually get deficiencies in vitamins and minerals. So I just smash through a few of those during the lives. If there's anyone who makes electrolytes and would like to sponsor me, I'd love that too. But at the moment, it's an unbranded blue drink. No, we're not putting electrolyte sponsorship here, but I think I look for one that has... I think I try and find one that has got the most spread on it, so a whole wide range of things, and then try and get one that the flavor's not too intense, because I find that upsets my tummy when it's got like lightning raspberry, and it's like gives you the burps after you've had it. Just something with all the things in there, but then not too much flavor. Primo. I know that one looks like blue lightning, but it's actually way more chill than the neon color it comes out as. So just a heads up on that. Let it go away. I love you. Well, thanks, Mary Love. Let what go away? Here we go. Put a little bit in here, and we're just going to keep building up layers on this beautiful couple. Yes, Victoria, hard. If you don't like the idea of some giant corporation or brand selling labeled lolly water, and you just want to avoid the whole shooting box, coconut water has so many electrolytes. And one thing I used to do for hangovers back when I used to drink, I still drink a little bit, guys, but honestly, I don't get the kick out of it that I used to get as a youth. I don't know, it sort of makes me feel numb. And I feel like there's enough things in this world that make us feel numb. It's pretty cool to feel something. So anyway, in terms of drinking, we drink some coconut cream in the morning because it was so packed with electrolytes to hydrate you. But we're talking 10 years ago, guys. Long time ago. But yeah, like I say, though, when it comes to alcohol, for me, I started to realize that actually the effects of alcohol do numb you. And that's lovely. I get it. Being numb's fantastic, and feeling can really hurt sometimes. But it's kind of cool to actually feel. And even if that feeling is hurt, you know, it's nice to actually sit with it. Sit with it and actually let it gestate and happen within you. And once I actually sat with a lot of my feelings and stopped trying to escape them through things like alcohol, I was suddenly way more confident being sober all the time. And actually, my tendency to lean towards alcohol when I was younger was more of an escape from me not having to address feelings that I hadn't reconciled. So, typically, don't get me wrong, I'll have a glass of champagne at a celebration, and if there's a party going on, I'll party. But in terms of at the end of the day and things like that, I typically don't have a glass of wine or a beer to wrap things up. I'll have a YouTube video about physics and sometimes a cup of tea, something hot. I used to like coffee, but a lot of people are telling me to stop drinking coffee so late at night, so we're cutting back on that. Taylor, I get it. Beer good, beer good. And don't get me wrong, even on my Instagram feed as well, I went to Beer Fest, and I had as much fun as anyone else, but it's not so much on the points where you have fun, it's on the day-to-day. It's those 2 or 3 glasses that sneak in on the weeknights, that they sneak up on you. It's okay to get to the end of the month and smash, you know, go wild at a party, but typically, my drinking involved a lot more of, you know, 1 or 2 here and there in the evenings. And it wasn't so much that that was too much alcohol for my body to handle. It was more to the fact that actually I was doing that to escape from a day or from an event. Victoria's like, catch you later. I gotta get myself a drink. Nah, catch you later, Victoria. Thanks for coming on in. And thank you very much for mentioning coconuts. You are correctos, 100%. Coconut cream and coconut water absolutely slap to hydrate, guys. Some of the best for electrolytes out there. Yeah, I think I always thought that it would make me uncool if I didn't drink. But actually, on the contrary, you become cool almost 24/7 because you don't, like, I don't want to say don't need alcohol, but you stop needing alcohol to be charismatic and fun. You can start actually, you find a way to get into a vibe 24/7. And so rather than just thinking, right, I'll have 5 or 10 drinks and suddenly I'll be the life of the party, imagine if you could actually address yourself, your feelings, and be you in that same fun way, but without the dose to actually make you feel less insecure, less introverted. You could make yourself extroverted and secure without anything. What if that was possible? What if you could do that? And if you could do that, why wouldn't you want to do that? It would feel pretty good. It's tough to do, but it feels pretty good. Hello, LJ. How we doing? Good to have you here. We're just adding some greys in, LJ. As exciting as that is. As exciting as that is. You've heard me yarn about greys in the past. They make everything else pop, guys. The greys in themselves don't blow our minds, but the fact that they exist in the picture allow our greens and our blues, our underrepresented at the moment reds, all these things play a larger role in the overall scheme of things. There we go. There we go. There we go. Still got a lot of white to add. There we go. Hello, LJ, and we started painting this. I didn't start it on a live, but we are doing it now together. I started in a paddock yesterday. Well, I started actually, honestly, if I'm full disclosure with you guys, I started 2 pieces. And something doesn't feel right. I'm not an airy-fairy kind of guy, but I think my approach towards them wasn't correct. And I don't feel like the result's going to come out right because of that approach. And so I've started this one actually from scratch. And it's not the only one. Whether it be the size, or whether it just be my general vibe towards making the painting. You really have to be in a headspace where you're transposing the right emotions onto the canvas. Sometimes that means you need to look at what you're doing and sometimes start again. Otherwise, the wrong things leave the studios. Here we go. Lovely. The woman's dark coat to the man's colourful outfit. Well, it is kind of fun, and there is an amazing amount of depth we can add into this coat with all these deep, dark, transparent colours. Thanks, Alejandro. Appreciate you. Very, very exciting. A beautiful, healthy baby girl on the way. On the way. There we go. Sapphire. I prefer dogs. The reason I like dogs is I understand the personalities of cats and things like that. And I love the reasoning for them. But for me, I love the fact that dogs have so much unconditional love and loyalty and joy. And I feel like even though dogs seem sometimes stupider and more simplistic, I feel like there's a lot we can learn from a dog. And I mean that in terms of how often do we let small things make us miserable or not be as happy as we could be in certain circumstances. Does a dog let the way you throw the ball make it miserable? Or does a dog actually seize life every single day and find ways to be happy or just being constantly joyful as it goes about its day? And I think that's really important. I don't think a dog practices being grateful. I think a dog is just genuinely stoked to have your attention and is grateful at the very fact that it woke up this morning. It doesn't have to remind itself, I should be grateful for this or that. It's genuinely just a really happy, fantastic creature. So dogs, that's what I'm saying. I'm a dog man. There we go. Wagner, how we doing? Dogs just want to love. And honestly, dogs love everyone. They sense your energy and they go, yep, this person means me no harm. I like them. And I think as humans, though we don't have that ability that dogs have, we really let ourselves down on that front. And we have a hard time forming. We do form connections, but not spontaneously. Not strong, sudden, interpersonal relationships where we hear someone's story and then actually care to listen. We typically are very introverted with how we develop our relationships and how we care about people. And honestly, there's not enough time on planet Earth to spend that long not allowing people to have an impact on our lives, not allowing people in, not allowing ourselves to feel. What's that book I always tout? The 8 Regrets of the Dying or something. They go into that a little bit in the book. Here we go. Put that over there. Just moving this around a little bit. Coming on, baby, round, round, getting that on me. Don't need no man, got my kids for free. Here we go. Realize, got nobody gonna get down low. Sorry. That song's stuck in my head. There's nothing like a good 90s boy band. Kids these days will never understand. Right. Oh, get myself straightened up here. Then let's get just a little bit more into the background through here. Beautiful. Dabbling through here. It's a bit more black than expected, but that's okay. Get a bit more of that. And just, there we go. Dabble with that. There we go. Can be careful putting grey in here as well, because you can make the impact of making them think that they're actually senior. But there is all the colours in here. And so we've got a responsibility to capture that. And we will. There we go. Thanks, Jay. 10 TikToks. You're the man, mate. All right, let's come on down here and have a little look here. Is the profile picture a painting of mine? Rachel. It's not a painting. It's a very, very interesting comment by me. It's made by AI. I gave it 10 pictures of my face and it made that portrait. And so that portrait's actually 10 screenshots of when we paint here. So when I turn around and look at you guys and smile or yarn with you, I just sent them bang, 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 bang. And then the robot came back and said, right, there's your face. And I loved it because it's actually more accurate than I thought it would be for AI. In that when you look at it, it's actually asymmetrical. It's got my eyes aren't actually exactly level in a perfect symmetrical face, ideal beauty. Actually, one eye comes down a bit further. I've cut one eyebrow a few times, and there's been like stitch lines go across it and things like that. And so the face is asymmetrical ever so lightly, both with the smile, with the eyes, my teeth, and I just got everything quite, what's the word I'm looking for? It was honest, but at the same time, it wasn't damning or glorifying. It was just, this is your face. And it just had this beautiful bright spark to it. And I thought, you know what, AI? You can capture a likeness. You don't deserve a hard time. So that was when AI pictures were just coming out as well, and everyone was getting up in arms about them, and artists were angry. And I'm like, I don't want everyone to think that I'm angry at AI art. I'm curious to see where this goes and how it affects how we interact with the world. A lot of the time when things come in and take jobs, like, what's an example? Assembly line in a factory starts building cars rather than humans. The people who are building the car feel very put out that their job's been taken off them. And I think that's the feeling, the sentiment from a lot of artists, that this new technology is taking from us. But actually, stop thinking from the standpoint as an artist and think from a standpoint as your role in society as an artist is to actually try and produce a feeling, to capture expression, to... you could be a craftsman, obviously, and you could be a craftsman painting pictures, in which case, yeah, AI's a challenge for you up and coming, but or going to change the game for you, or make it more efficient for you. But in terms of, like, for me, with my art, I just want to make the world a better place, happier, more joyful, more vitalized. And so I see this tool coming, I think, that's a useful tool. That's going to change the game a wee bit. And you know what? If it does it better than I can do it, I can hang up my hat and do whatever I want to do now, because there's a tool doing the thing that I thought was so important that I dedicated my life to do. And now it's been, now there's a robot that does it twice as good. That would make me happy if that were the case. But at the moment, we're just watching, seeing where it goes. Realistic? I missed that, Steve. Gil Mafia, it is. And it's so artistic. Look. It's because when it gets empty, I throw it into the paint bucket, and the paint bucket usually has a whole bunch of voice cracked rags and paint in there, so that happens to it. But such is life. Such is life. All right, we're done with this plate. We're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to put that down there, and we're going to go on to a slightly bigger plate. He throws things around, chattering. There we go. Beautiful. And we're going to grab a bit of an underrepresented colour. An Ep.3 red light. Here we go. Lovely. Sorry, what was the word you were looking for to describe AI? Steve, I think AI is a beautiful tool in that, for example, think about it this way. Think about AI as being the perfect craftsman, unparalleled, a Michelangelo with its hands to make anything that it wants to make. Now, the consciousness of AI is an interesting question, and the ability for it to be creative is an interesting question. Can it feel emotion? And to be expressive, to create real art, to capture expression, it needs to feel. Because we want to feel like actual, real, tangible feelings were used to transpose something onto the canvas. I don't want to think of Starry, Starry Night or the works of Van Gogh not being created by a person who actually felt like they were capturing something meaningful for mankind or humanity, and that actually someone else could feel love or feel what they were feeling through these strokes on the canvas. So, imagine AI as a perfect craftsman. Now imagine if you got some, like, it doesn't have to be an artist anymore. It could be you, it could be me, it could be Jules, it could be Victoria, it could be Jay Smith, whoever. Suddenly, you can share your feelings with a robot who can then produce your picture. It won't be limited to just you or me or someone else to actually produce. Imagine if a robot could capture the way you feel, almost like listening in on a therapy session and going, do you like this picture? This is made for you. This is your feelings encapsulated in an image. Now, it won't be that great at first, but it might learn how to do that. Now, the difference in what we do here, what's been made at the moment, and you got to understand that actually when it comes to layering strokes, when it comes to creating perfect gradients and representing a photo perfectly with an art form, AI is going to beat me every time because I'm human. I've only got so many neurons and so much ability, and as time goes by, my eyes won't see as well. My hands won't craft as well. And so in terms of craft, AI beats me. But you know what AI can't do? It can't make mistakes. It can't get sidetracked, go on side quest, get distracted and lost in a beautiful process. And so it's not through the ability to make a beautiful picture that humans beat AI. It's the most human traits of distraction, mistakes, imperfection, and the ability to get so lost in what you're making that what actually gets made became irrelevant in the middle of that process that makes the human story so compelling versus the perfect craftsman. Because I think when we look at our own lives, think about people you love, think about your family. Do you really want, I mean, I know we all want to have endless money, a giant mansion, perfect cars, by the beach, or by a giant farm, or with a perfect golden retriever puppy that just trained. I don't know what the perfect vision looks like for you, but look at your family and the way they are. Would you actually change them? Would you make them something else to make them better? Or is your son, your daughter, your father, your mother, your family, the ones you surround yourselves with, are you all imperfect in your own ways, but you accept each other? And in that imperfection is something you wouldn't change. It's its own version of perfect. Now, AI can't replicate that. That's a human feeling to gravitate towards something which isn't perfect, but something that completes you. And that's okay, that's not wrong, but it's interesting that we'd actually prefer that. That's the confusing element of a human, the audacity of us to value something more in its imperfection. I think robots will have a hard time understanding why we'd opt for something that would be considered lesser because we're in love with it so much more. I think, yeah, thanks guys. But I think that's important. I think a lot of the time, and you hear about social media all the time, and I agree. Have you gone through your Instagram lately or through Facebook and just seen perfect, 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 perfect? And they're your friends, don't get me wrong, it's your friends and your family, and it's pictures that have had the saturation turned up a little bit, they have the perfect angle of lighting, that are captured at the perfect time, and then all of a sudden you see this 30 times over and you think everyone's living the most perfect, joyful lives, and you're thinking, but I've got spaghetti stains on me and I'm halfway through a TV series sitting on my bed and I've got a half cup of cold tea beside me and I'm scrolling on my phone while I watch Netflix. Like, I'm not like these people. Why are they living good lives and not me? It's not like that, guys. Everyone sits down in the bed and flicks through Netflix for 15 minutes without being able to pick a show. And everyone scrolls on their phone while watching a show that they regretfully chose anyway and not giving either thing that much attention. And everyone gets spaghetti stains on their shirt, even Eminem. And so, yes. Yeah, cheers, Steve. I forget where I was going with that, but, oh, that's right. But we get to feel that actually everyone out there, because we polish these photos on social media, is perfect. And we're all imperfect. And in fact, if they were perfect, you'd want nothing to do with them. Perfect's so boring. Like, like honestly, guys, describe perfection to me in a way that's not just, so disgustingly bland and boring. Think about that movie, Bruno, the one where the guy can see the future and he gets kicked out of the little Spanish village and then the other chick goes to look for him and there's all these characters and there's all those characters and they're all very interesting because they're all imperfect. And the most boring one, the one that you really look at and go, ugh, stop singing. Can she get less screen time? She's boring. She's the one who's perfect. And her song's about how perfect she is. And can't stand her. Can't stand her one bit. And then towards the end of the movie, her character arc is actually, she's putting on an act. She's an act. She makes beautiful flowers with her magical powers. And turns out she wants to make cactuses. She prefers cactus flowers and spiky plants. And she realizes to be herself, she's going to pursue that. And so all of a sudden she starts doing that. And her trajectory is that actually she wants to be imperfect. She doesn't want to be perfect. And that she's not even perfect on the inside. She's imperfect. And then at the end of the show, you love her because she's finally been herself. And so the point here is your little side quest imperfections and quirks are literally what make you perfect. We need a new word other than perfect because it's actually a buzzword. It's on the wrong track. It makes you unique. Makes you makes you worthy of love. Your imperfections make you worthy of love. When we're always taught that actually they'd make us less worthy. We see people's pictures of all sorts of stuff on Instagram and Facebook and we think, oh, okay, they're worthy of that because they look like, blah, 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 blah. And we count ourselves out. When actually, the things we're counting ourselves out for are the reasons we deserve it. Anyway, I posted a picture of my son, took me off guard, I really felt my age, and guess what? I liked it. Yeah. That's a funny one too. I heard a great saying, Steve, I told you about it. Growing old is not for the faint-hearted. But it's an amazing, amazing gift to get the opportunity to grow old. And actually, provided you've lived your life in a way you can look back on and be proud of, it's phenomenal to sit back and see as things progress and as things grow. I remember my grandfather used to love sitting back and watching the family, seeing where he'd taken things, and seeing the fruits of everything he'd spent his life creating, finally growing into beautiful little fruit trees, And knowing that when he left, he'd left behind something that was truly special. That's pretty cool. So, I'll be lucky to be able to sit down and see my face in the mirror as an old man. And when I say old man, Steve, I'm not talking about you. You're barely old, mate. We're talking 80s. 80s. 80s is old. 80s is old. 50s, 60s, and 70s. My grandfather was 86 when he died, and he still looked and behaved like a spring chicken. And so, I think that's important to... I mean, when you're a kid, you think that 30's old. When you turn 30 and you're like, I'm still a baby. And I know I'm still going to have that feeling when I'm 40 and 50 and 60 and 70. I think you forget how to be a kid as you grow older. But if you do, that's the biggest disservice you can give yourself. I think who said that? Picasso had a similar thing to that. Steve, that's a good one. Youth is a gift of nature. Age is a work of art. Is that your saying, Steve? Who's saying that? Is that a... I'm tweeting that right now. Youth is a gift. This will stop me from forgetting it. Is a gift of nature. Age is a work of art. Youth is a gift of nature. Age is a work of art. Is that yours, Steve? I'll tell you what. I'll give you. Is it? I'm not quite sure here. I should probably type it in so I get the right. Otherwise, people give you a hard time saying, you just stole that. Youth is a gift of nature. Age is a work of art. Ah, there we go. Stanislaw Jersey. All right. Jersey. There we go. Perfect. Tweeted. Done deal. All right, Luna, I'm doing fantastically. Good to have you here. We're applying some reds to this picture. And then I've got some responsibilities I need to run off and tend to. All over the show. What have I got to do today? Pick up some things in the supermarket. I've got to hang out with my little niece. I've got to... Because when they're so young, when they're like 2 years old, I like spending time around 2-year-olds and 1-year-olds because they get familiar with you. And once they're familiar, they get confident with you. And so you think they don't remember, you think they're just little potatoes running around. But if you're around and you care, I think it rubs off on them a little bit. And then after a while, especially when there's more strangers around, that's when they go, yep, no, I know this one more than the others. So I try and get time in with my little 2-year-old niece where I can. La da da dee da do. Age is a work of art. This is true. This is true. I was reading a very good book actually called Lifespan. If you haven't read it, it's totally all good. It's by Dr. Sinclair. He's in charge of the aging facility at Harvard. And he's very, very, well, he's intelligent for one thing, but he's interesting in the way he talks about age. And I like it specifically because he talks about age not through the number of age as much, but as a measurement of vitality. And he was interested in making sure we could feel vitality to a late age, which I really, really like. I'd hate to think that once I turned 70 or 80, that I wouldn't have the vitality to go about doing certain things that I'd love to do, spending time with family and watching my grandchildren and my children grow. So Dr. Sinclair puts forward some very, very interesting thought experiments and scenarios and science into helping us try and figure out how we might have that vitality for our next few generations. I want my grandsons and my sons to be able to take me fishing. My daughter, thanks Luna, my daughter to be able to take me fishing. Hiking. Wherever she wants to take me, I'll go. There we go. Thanks David and Luna, you're both champions. So we're adding that red in there. It's going to add some fire to the background. Still, the blue is the most dominant colour, and it will remain that way. And that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind it. I don't mind at all. It's funny though, now that I'm 30, I'm getting my first experience of actually feeling like a dinosaur. In that things like music, Alanis Morissette, Blink-182, Sum 41, these bands that I grew up with and played a significant role in me as a youth are now unheard of and gone. I'm not sure, and this is where I get twisted, guys, because I'm not sure about this mumble rap stuff and these songs these days. I'm a power ballad guy. I'm not hearing songs on the radio like Journey, Don't Stop Believing, or Freddy Krueger up there with the mic belting out a song. I like those moments where the singer's in the spotlight, blasting out lyrics that everyone interprets in their own way to describe moments out of their own life. And the guitar and the music coming in from behind them only accentuates the fact that they've got this ability to connect with the audience, and the fact that every individual person feels like their own story has been described. I don't feel like that's what's happening with music, and I feel like that's a tragedy because I love that. Yeah, Steve, I just tracked it down. It was I posted it on Twitter, XZ, Twixie, and yeah, but it's a great saying. It's a great saying. Never heard of Cindy. It's like you remember in the 90s there was regular rap going on where the lyrics were really, really clear. Well, now the lyrics are more ambiguous and mumbled, and it's definitely not my kettle of fish. I like clear lyrics. I like clarity. Someone really saying something and meaning for everyone to either endorse and enjoy and see a part of their own story in. I think that's really cool. I like all things, Cindy. I like the fact that we can each choose genres and express ourselves through them. For me, my most favourite genre is country, and I thought I was the only one who listened to country in the whole world. Because I was in New Zealand and no one else liked it, and I wasn't sure why everyone else seemed to like everything else, and why I was always the odd one out. Why does no one like what I like? And it was only once I went to America and I actually started hanging around people who listen to country that I realized, oh my God, there is people, in fact, there's a whole continent of people who like this music as much as I do. And I learned a really important lesson then, which was just because you're the only one in your current circle doesn't mean you're the only one in the world. And sometimes with your passion, it's a responsibility to find your people more than it is a responsibility to match every other person in the herd. Be yourself. That's so important. All right, team. I'm going to let that coat of red dry now. we're going to pause there. It's been absolutely fantastic. Hey, Richie Rich, how you doing? But I will say this, guys. Please message me via Instagram or via TikTok or wherever and tell me, I can't guarantee anything, but tell me a time that works best for you to be streaming. As a rough estimate, we were thinking of just going for 12 p.m. daily and then doing a stream of a however long, but we might chop and change. So if that time works well for you, let me know. It's looking like to work best with America. We'll be going for an early morning stream, somewhere around 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So a 3-hour stretch there. But let me know. If your time zone's weird, I totally get it. If this time works great, let me know. We might do some morning ones and some evening ones. We'll see how we go. But I want to make sure everyone feels like they're a part of it. That's the important thing, because a couple of people have been missing out since I've been jumping on at weird times. And we've been going on long enough now that I feel like a schedule is the best thing to do, to include everyone. Yeah, Richie Rich is agreeing. Watermelon. Thanks, Mary Love. All right, guys, I'm going to disappear now. Got a couple of errands to run and things to do. And we'll let this dry and keep on attacking it. Next up is going to be a bunch of Joanne Brilliance, which is kind of like a salmony color. Tans. These pants need tans. And then a lot of tans and steely colors up through here, which will bring out the faces, pop out the background. And this is all looking pretty cool, but more. If you're painting love, layers, transparency, more of it, more colors, more depth, more shapes. Just really... not intensity. It doesn't need to be colors going bah off the screen, but it does need to be layered in a way that you can keep seeing more when you look at it. That's important. Thanks, Meek. All right, guys. Jules, Jay Smith, Steve, Cindy, look after yourselves, guys, and I will see you in the very near future. Appreciate the love. I am so excited about this baby girl, and yeah, thanks, Jules. Catch you next time. And we'll talk soon. Cheers, guys. Bye for now. If I can find the button. This always happens. It's so awkward right at the end because I have to try and find the thing. Top right, and here we go.